Before you get into copywriting, you need to understand a concept before you just go and write an email and start blasting emails. All right. As a SaaS founder, I know how hard it is to book demos with prospects. And that's why, as a cold email master, I developed a top secret B2B SaaS cold email copywriting method to book as many sales demos as you want. And if prospects are not interested or want me to follow up in the next 3 or 6 months, then I just add them to my automated email nurture sequence. I'll talk about that in a different video. For now, in this video, I'm going to reveal my top secret cold outreach for SaaS, which brings sales demos to my calendar on complete autopilot. And I'll also be talking about what a good cold outreach email looks like for SaaS businesses. So before you send another cold email for your SaaS, watch this video carefully. It's going to save you from a lot of trouble. If you don't know me yet, my name is Patrick Spielman, a 6-time growth award-winning franchise owner, former 7-figure sales agency owner, and the founder of Upticks, which is the best sales software to win more customers and manage your pipeline. In this channel, I share all of my proven sales strategies that I learned over the past 14 years and that I used to charge clients $5,000, $20,000, even $50,000 for. And the only reason I'm giving it away for free is that when you apply my strategies, I'm 110% confident that you're going to book more meetings, you're going to close more deals, you're going to grow your sales, you're going to be more profitable, and you'll become a loyal customer of Upticks. Just like people like James Palmer, who made $1.2 million in 4 months using Upticks this year and returned over $35 million for their clients. And people like Reese, who's been in business over 4 years and worked with hundreds of B2B companies, tried almost every sales outreach tool under the sun. And people like Daniel Malloy, who just watched the YouTube content and said, I'm 6 months into my sales career and I've only followed what you have said. I'm hitting 10%-ish reply rates. And some of my friends are dumbfounded how I'm doing it. Only up from here. Thanks, Patrick. All right, let's get into the secret SaaS cold email copywriting method to help book 7x more demos. And I say this is not for beginners, but if you're daring enough and you want to give it a try and you are a beginner, by all means. First of all, let's start with some mistakes to avoid with cold email right out the gate. So I don't know if you're, a beginner, you're an intermediate or an expert, but the big thing to understand with cold email is do not write long emails, okay? Founders, owners, C-levels, VPs, directors, managers, like nobody has time to read long emails, especially if it's a straight sales pitch. And I'm going to get into the copy here in a little bit, of course, but just don't write long emails. I'm going to go through a framework and share that with you in just a little bit. The next thing, don't make it about you. Okay. We love to talk about ourselves in SaaS. We're really proud of what we've built and, the effort that it took to, create this product, right? But you need to fight the urge to not talk about yourself. Okay. It's really all about your prospects and what they're experiencing in terms of problems, and then what kind of desires they want. Okay. The next thing, you don't want to ask for a meeting in a cold email. All right. I see this too often. People just asking directly for a meeting or directly to sign up for their platform. You simply want people to reply. The email gods will love you for this. Okay. This is going to help email deliverability, not to nerd out on you too much about that, but those are the top 3 mistakes to avoid with cold email. Now, the next thing I want to get into is a concept we call phishing. Before you get into copywriting, you need to understand a concept before you just go and write an email and start blasting emails. All right. So there's a high likelihood that your product's going to solve multiple problems, or it can be used for multiple use cases and personas, right? Before you write copy, you want to map out each value pillar that you have to just organize and collect your thoughts. So let me give you a little screenshot here. So this is an example for Upticks. So map out your product and the different value adds that you have. So, Upticks is a, sales CRM. We do automation. We're kind of an all-in-one tool. You can still use us with systems like Salesforce and HubSpot. And then we're really focused on the outreach side of things. Now, to give you an example and to extend on this, so map out each of the different value props that you have, and then dive into one of those, okay? And then think about what are the things that encompass this. So let's just talk about cold outreach, for instance, as it relates to us. What things that go into it? Cold email, right? Cold calling, social selling. There's more that go into it, of course, but map out a few different subtopics, right? Once you do that, think about what steps are involved. So pick one of those. What steps are involved in that one thing that you're doing within that subtopic, right? And we're identifying essentially like a little niche. So in this regard with cold email, there's email deliverability, there's copywriting, there's lead lists. So there's really 3 things. There's more, of course, but these are 3 core things that go into cold email. All right. Now we want to think about what problems that people experience as it relates to that. What makes doing this hard? All right. And then basically we're mapping out a sub niche within that space. Okay. So we got cold email, deliverability. Now we got sub niches. So what are the things you want to ask yourself from here that your prospects desire as a result of this problem? Okay. So they desire high open rates, high reply rates, high click rates, possibly. Right? Those are three really good ones as it relates to email deliverability. A bad one might be demos. Now, that's the thing that they probably want to get is like a demo, but it's not related to our niche. Okay. So use this little graph and exercise to map out, and before you even write a single sentence for your cold email, use this map to go through a brain exercise to think about this to get deeper, deeper, and deeper, right? This is going to help us write converting sales copy. Once you've done this exercise for different aspects of your product, you want to pick 2 to 4 angles. Then you want to write copy for with each persona in mind, and then build a lead list that matches that copy to the persona. Okay. So that's before you even write a lick of copy. That's the exercise you want to go through. Now, in order to write copy, I got some resources for you that you can check out after this video. This document, by the way, the link is in the description. So you can take this, make it your own, make a copy, add it into your Notion account, whatever you want. Here's some more supporting videos that sort of piggyback on this content. So I've got a whole bunch of videos in cold email. I got an entire cold email framework, right? How to get the best deliverability and different features you need with your cold email software. And I've even got a full training video, all right? I want to get into the actual sequence framework, okay? Starting with email number 1. So here's what the cold to gold email framework looks like. This is an actual example of our campaigns, right? This is a sequence that converted really, really well for us. So this is the framework. And again, go watch that video for the full training breakdown of this. So, we started out the email, first name, was wondering if your sales campaigns are bringing at least 11% reply rates for company name. Asking because hitting these numbers depends on a crucial factor, email deliverability. So this is our niche, and this was our sub niche, right? So that exercise that I had you go through earlier in the video and that you want to go through before you write copy, that is going to take you through and help you map out your niche and your sub niches, right? Then we do a quick educational line. Again, I've got that training video that goes through more details on this. And then we got a quick value-based call to action. Okay. So that's email number 1. The follow-up to that is an attention getting follow-up. Now, depending on your brand, you may not want to be as edgy as we might be. And depending on your persona, you might want to think about this. But this is literally our follow-up. We say, hey, first name, I totally understand you're busy and replying to a cold email is about as enjoyable as a vicious root canal on insert day of the week. But even a 1 or 2 word reply would make my day and maybe yours. Can I send you some more info? So a low pressure follow-up here or call to action. We're using an attention grabbing pattern interrupt email with a little bit of humor, which often breaks up the monotony in people's emails. And in case you're wondering what these blue little outlines are in the email, this is a thing called Spintax in Upticks, which actually helps rotate the content and keep your templates fresh so you experience better email deliverability. Hey, if you're loving the content and getting value, I'd love if you'd like the video, comment below with any sort of questions that you have. And if you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe button and get the best sales content on the internet. Now back to the training. All right, so that's email number 2. As I mentioned before, you want to remove the prospect from your campaigns if they don't open one of these first 2 emails. And the reason you want to do that, all right, is you're going to jeopardize your domain health if you're sending to people who aren't opening your emails. All right, you're going to increase the velocity in which you land in spam and experience problems. This is a scenario where velocity is not a good thing. Okay, so don't increase your velocity of landing in spam by making this mistake. All right. The third email is that social proof, testimonial, VSL, personalized videos. So since we're opting people out if they don't open, we can get a little bit more aggressive in the things that we can do in email 3. So typically you don't want to do things like images, links, or videos or anything like that in your emails. But if you're opting people out and you know that they're opening and you're in their inbox, then it's okay to do it. All right. So here's an example of what we do. We use an attention grabbing headline. I'm taking the gloves off, just a short, simple follow up. Again, it's a little bit humorous. People laugh over this kind of stuff. And again, it's another pattern interrupt because being soft in my last 2 emails didn't impress you. So I'm sending you a testimonial. All right. I open up my video here with an attention grabbing, headline that gets people to wake up a little bit. You want to do the same thing with your cold outreach. All right. And I just insert the image, right? This was actually left on a YouTube video of mine, completely unsolicited. I didn't ask for this. This just showed up, right? You want to use that. The more organic social proof you have, the better. Okay. And you can use a video sales letter. You could use, any sort of testimonial you might have. It doesn't have to be an image, but if it's an image or something that the customer said in their own words and not just something you typed or you could make up, the more powerful it's going to be. All right. And then our call to action is, would it be ridiculous to have the best email deliverability for outbound while getting your sales done in one place? So you just want to put in a call to action that piggybacks on the value that your product can add based on that niche that we identified in that exercise. Okay. And then the last one here is, day 15 or right around there is our not a breakup email. Okay, so I don't like traditional breakup emails. I like to leave options open in the future. So here's the email that we use. First name, breaking up isn't fun, so I wanted to leave you with an asset which thousands of other sales pros have used to land in the inbox, improve email deliverability, and grow their business. It's a webinar called How to Cold Email Like a Pro. Here's the link. If you watch it and don't get a ton of value, let me know and I'll reimburse you for being a complete time suck. So again, a little bit more attention grabbing. We want to do things like that in our emails, toe the line between attention grabbing, but not complete, clickbait. You don't want to piss people off or anything like that. You want to make it fun. You want to, add a little humor every so often in there. And again, since we've opted people out of the sequence because they haven't opened, we can get a little bit more aggressive with things like links. Typically, in your email number one, email number two, you don't want to do things like links, all right? Okay, so that's the fourth email. Next, I want to get into and just show you real quick about how to leverage data, right, to your benefit so that you know which angles that you work, those angles that we identified up in that copywriting exercise up here, right? You want to make sure that you know they work. So once you write those, you want to run A/B test. And if you write those angles right, and I've got that other training video on cold email intro lines and how to write those, right? So just watch more of my training. You want to use data and A/B testing to test your different angles. So in one example, I attacked opening rates. The another example, I attacked reply rates. Well, our open rates were basically the same in terms of performance, 78%, 81%. This was with our test audience, right, before we scale up. And our reply rates, 24% here, 9% there. So before we scale anything up, we want to know what angle is working, right? Obviously, this angle worked better. And this is statistically significant. You don't need to send a ton of leads, emails, in order to find a statistical significant angle. Now, you don't always get results like this. This is probably one of the bigger differences that I've seen between two different angles. But if you write your copy right, then you're going to identify that. All right, so that's the first data point. The next thing that you want to do is you want to make sure your inboxes, the email accounts that you're sending emails from, are performing the best they possibly can. And don't mind my little typo here. I'm a terrible speller. If you're using one inbox with your email sending, you're going to get bad email deliverability. We don't want that. So what you should be doing is always using, some sort of tool to help you manage and look at your data at your inbox level. So first of all, you should be using multi-inbox, multi-domain sending. There's other training inside of this Notion document that you can check out. I'll teach you all about that kind of stuff. And then once you launch your sequences and your campaigns, you can actually monitor and look at the different open rates by your inboxes. And obviously you want to only send with inboxes that are actually getting really good deliverability. All right, so that's a little bit about stats. Now, when you're ready to scale this up, there's a way that you can build a complete outbound machine. And I mentioned the multi-domain, multi-inbox strategy. So when you're ready for that, go out and buy a bunch of domains, set up multiple Google workspaces, multiple Outlook workspaces, add multiple domains and multiple inboxes, right, per domain. Get those set up in your email system, like an Upticks, of course, and launch this strategy. And you also want to map out, right, your strategy for each of those workspaces and plan out your volume and limit your volume based on number of inboxes, number of sends per domain, all that kind of stuff. All right. So if you want access to this spreadsheet here, comment below, tell me you want access to it. I'll reply back with the link and send it over to you. And if you want to learn more about how you can implement this into your business, feel free to click this link here and book a rocket ship demo with me. And I'd be happy to walk you through this and chat about what it might look like to help get you set up with a gnarly process like this. And if you're curious to learn a little bit more about Upticks, I've got some resources down here. Feel free to check this out, learn a little bit about Upticks, check out our Cold to Gold email challenge we've got. Feel free to connect with me on any of these channels. So that's everything I have for you today. Now, if you want to level up your sales outreach and fill up your calendar, then sign up for a trial of Upticks, book a call with us, and we'll help you implement all of these crazy outreach strategies and have you winning customers in no time. We'll see you in the next video.